A lot happened post-game as the Broncos lost their season opener to the Seattle Seahawks. Welcome into your Denver Sports Daily for September 9th. Let's go.
Taking you through your morning headlines, it's Denver Sports Daily with Rachel V. Hill.
The Broncos fall in their season opener 26-20 against the Seattle Seahawks. And there's a lot to dive into. I already see the comments starting to come in saying, Bo Nix did not look good. Bo Nix did not look good. But hey, other people around him need to step up. Well, let's first talk about the quarterback because he had a 30.1 ESPN QBR rating on Sunday, which definitely isn't good. It ranks 21st out of 28 eligible QBs this week. But let's just look at some of the other rookie QBs who ended up starting. Nix finished behind Jaden Daniels, who had a 41.8. He went 16 of 28, but ahead of the number one pick overall, Caleb Williams, who had a 22.2 rating and going 24 out of 28. So right in the middle between it. And let's be honest, going into Seattle, that's a tough place to play nonetheless. Caleb Williams played at home in front of Bears fans, but Sean Payton essentially had to say it wasn't necessarily on the QB. A lot of people around him needed to step up. Take a listen.
He gave us a chance. Our protection was average at best. And I just think, and I believe this, that we have to, at one point in the game, I came to the bench and talked to the receivers and said, let's go. I don't know how many drops we had, but man, let's help this guy. So, any more? All right, thanks.
Now, following the game, there was, of course, a lot of talk about Bo Nix on Twitter. Lots of people chiming in on how they were disappointed with the quarterback, on how he didn't look good, of course, how he was going to be a bust. And let's be real, it is only week one. It's tough for any rookie QB to go out there. But Captain Pat Surtain took to Twitter to defend the rookie QB, going on to say, honestly, this is what I expected, not going to lie. So fickle. This is part of the game. Stuff happens. He played great. So quick to hate on someone and go on social media to talk about it. This is part of the process, man. It's pathetic. Now, you might see at the bottom of that post, it says this post has been deleted. So Pat Surtain going off on some of the people causing a little bit of hatred to Bo Nix, but then deleting the post. And you have to wonder, did Sean Payton make him delete the post? Did he just decide it wasn't worth the comments that he was getting back? Why take it down? Because overall, I thought it was a good look for the corner, especially he just signed that massive extension. Yeah, I think it's not too bad for him to step up for his QB. Now, what did the rookie QB have to say about the emotions of his first NFL start? Well, I will say his response would make you guess that he is in fact not a rookie. Take a listen.
It was a challenge. It was a tough day. It was they didn't make it easy on us, that's for sure. But like I said, we competed. We went down and scored there at the end, and gave ourselves a chance to win. And we were, an inch away on a, almost batted ball that Riley Moss made an incredible play on that they just, made a better play. So it's tough. You got to give them credit, but we battled and we continue to fight, and that's, those are the emotions of today. That we got a competitive team. We got a team that's not going to quit. And we're going to put everything on the line, and no matter if it's, ugly start, we're going to continue to find ways to finish.
That's a pretty darn good answer from a rookie QB. Now, the Broncos, they had 3 field goals, 2 safeties, and 1 touchdown on Sunday. They failed to get a first down 7 times. They averaged 0.6 first downs and 0.9 points per series. It's a little brutal, I'm not going to lie. However, let's also be real. The run game could not get going, and that's where a major part of this comes into play is Bo Nix was having to run. They were having to throw, and Seattle's got some good secondary. Let's not doubt them at all. I think that Seattle could make a push for the playoffs come down the line this season. But Jaleel McLaughlin had 27 yards on 10 carries. Javonte Williams, 23 yards on 8 carries. Audric Estime, 14 yards on 2 carries. And Sean Payton definitely mentioned getting the run game going during his post-game press conference yesterday. Take a listen.
I don't know how many balls we dropped. And so I've said this before, for any quarterback playing, we've got to be more effective running the football. We'll see the rushing. If you take away his scrambling yards, I think we're like somewhere 60 yards rushing to their 140. So not nearly good enough.
Sean Payton is about to meet with the media via Zoom here in just a few minutes to talk about a game, probably what they've seen out of some of the film that they've already watched. Let's be real. They are going, as soon as the game ends, it is pretty much get back into go time, especially when you have a loss like you did yesterday. So Broncos country, don't freak out. It's growing pains. I tweeted it out yesterday. Over 2,000 people liked it. Bo Nix is just a rookie. Bo Nix is just a rookie. Things will get better. I actually saw one of the comments that I can't wait to get to about how John Elway's numbers compared to Bo Nix. We'll dive into all of that. Now, let's move on to some of the other storylines in the NFL because there were a ton of them this weekend. First of all, Green Bay Packers quarterback Jordan Love suffered an MCL sprain during Friday night's game against the Philadelphia Eagles. The injury took place during the second to last play of the game, which the Eagles won 34-29. Love is expected to miss 3 to 6 weeks. And here's the other crazy thing is they're going to go with Malik Willis as their backup QB. They are not expected to go and look for another veteran quarterback. The week 1 injury comes with a lot riding on the QB who just signed that 4-year, $220 million contract extension with the Packers in July. So surprised they're not going to look anywhere else for a quarterback, but they must believe in Malik Willis and hope to have Jordan Love back out there sooner rather than later. Now, some other news that broke yesterday with the Cowboys and Dak Prescott that they have agreed to a record-setting contract extension. 4 years, $240 million deal will make Prescott the highest paid player in NFL history. It also includes $231 million guaranteed, the most ever for an NFL contract. He was heading into his final year of his current deal, but the Cowboys now have $94 million committed annually to just 2 players, Prescott and wide receiver CeeDee Lamb. It's crazy over there what Jerry Jones is doing with the Cowboys, but congratulations to Dak Prescott on a interesting, I don't know if I would say super well-deserved contract. Don't hate me for that one. But he gets paid at the end of the day. So now you got to go out there and win. And hopefully, well, if you're Broncos country, you're hoping that he doesn't get a Super Bowl. But also at the exact same time, if you are a Cowboys fan, you are like, we paid you, Dak Prescott. Go out there and get us a Super Bowl. We'll go down to Miami now because there was a ton of drama and you probably got a million notifications on your phone yesterday about this one. Tyreek Hill was detained and handcuffed by police ahead of Sunday's season opener in Miami. There were tons of videos showing Hill being placed in cuffs after a driving violation outside of Hard Rock Stadium. ESPN reports that he was cited for reckless driving and got into a verbal altercation with police. He was released and able to play in the Dolphins season opener, which we'll have his stat line here in just a second. But the Miami-Dade Police Department is now investigating Sunday's morning incident with Tyreek Hill and disciplining one of the officers involved. On Sunday afternoon, Miami-Dade Police Director Stephanie V. Daniels said in a statement that an internal affairs investigation has been launched and that an officer has been placed on administrative duties while the investigation is conducted. Hill was detained, like we said, outside of Hard Rock Stadium, but there is a video that is surfacing essentially of a cop going after Hill and unfortunately hitting him. Now, his teammates, Calais Campbell, says he was also briefly handcuffed while trying to de-escalate the situation. Hill had 130 yards and a touchdown in Sunday's win over the Jaguars. So he definitely popped off in the game. It'll be interesting to see what happens with this investigation as they move forward. One of the bigger games in the NFL, I think that people weren't expecting to see a W next to this team's name was the New England Patriots. They defeated the Cincinnati Bengals 16-10 in an upset. Low scoring game, but the Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow, he's facing questions about his wrist essentially. After the team's upset loss, Burrow was asked how his surgically repaired wrist might have impacted him on any type of throws. Now Burrow said everything feels good. He also gave props to the Patriots, saying they were doing a good job keeping everyone in front. I've got to take what the defense gives me. That's coming from a lot with Joe Burrow, obviously, as a lot of people were expecting Cincinnati to make a good run at the playoffs this year. Now, it was a surprise win for the first victory ever for new head coach Gerard Mayo, who's now obviously with the Patriots after Bill Belichick walked away. But defensive lineman Daniel Aduka and Devon Guchach dumped Gatorade on Mayo in celebration. Mayo said it was the Gatorade bath. It's cold and it felt worse in my shoes. If you've ever had wet shoes, then you 100% know what he's talking about. But look at the amount of Gatorade that they ended up pouring on him. That was a full orange container of Gatorade. Obviously looking good, but a win is a win, so you will take it. Patriots owner Robert Kraft gave Mayo a game ball in honor of the coach's first win, which Mayo said was a special, special moment. So congratulations to him. Again, nobody expecting the Patriots to go out there and beat the Bengals. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs NFL kickoff victory over the Baltimore Ravens set a new television ratings record for the annual game, which How could it not? It was such a good game. So according to NBC Sports, the game had an average audience of 28.9 million, surpassing 27.6 million who watched the New England Patriots defeat the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2015. The audience peaked at 33 million in the second quarter, and the ratings is 5% higher than last season's opener against the Detroit Lions. Okay, ton of NFL news. There's a ton to break down. James Merlot and I are going to be on coffee break today, so it's Merlot Monday. Come hang out with us. Of course, going to be talking about the Denver Broncos, but we also got to be talking about this guy, which is Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes. Let's go. Oh, Deion Sanders and the Buffs suffered their first loss of the season on Saturday night as a 28-10 drubbing by the hands of Nebraska. Yeah, you heard that one right. It was not pretty. And quarterback Shedeur Sanders, Deion's son, was sacked 5 times and left the game in the fourth quarter after taking a helmet-to-helmet hit. You also have Shiloh Sanders, who has a broken forearm. Coach Prime tweeted out this morning that he has gotten surgery and that he can't wait to see him back out there on the field. But Deion is pointing fingers at the offensive line, essentially telling reporters protections were a problem. We got to figure out a way to prevent that and do a better job with it. Take a look.
Why was it so difficult for the offense to respond to Nebraska's defense?
I have no idea. We would have known that answer. I think we would have responded quicker. Yeah, we seemed like we just never got it going until it was too late. Seemed like we just never got it going. Protections were a problem. You know, I'm trying to be polite and say it because, you know, if I could say the same thing you're thinking, but if I said, you say I'm throwing my guys up under the bus, I'm not doing that whatsoever. Protection were a problem. We got to figure out a way to prevent that and do a better job with that.
Colorado drops to 1-1 on the year, while Nebraska improves to 2-0. And this weekend's a massive one as the Buffs will travel to Fort Collins, my alma mater. Let's go Rams for the Rocky Mountain Showdown. Cannot wait for this game on Saturday. That's a 5:30 p.m. kickoff. This is going to be a really good one. I'll be wearing my green here on Friday. I'm going to be pumped up, excited to bring you guys all the content from Fort Collins. Let's move on over to the Denver Nuggets now, because finally, we've been talking about this, I believe, since June. Jamal Murray will be staying in Colorado for at least 4 more seasons. The point guard has signed a 4-year contract extension with the Nuggets that some people are saying is $208 million. Other people are saying $209 million. Nobody can quite get clarity on which one it is, but regardless, a good chunk of money. So Jamal Murray has 1 year left on his current contract. So he will make $244 million guaranteed over the next 5 years. He's averaged a career high of 21.2 points per game last season, second only to the reigning MVP, Nikola Jokic. No surprise there, but it took so long for Jamal Murray to sign that contract extension that people were starting to get a little concerned with what was happening in the back, in the front office, essentially, what was happening behind the scenes, what was going on backstage with the Denver Nuggets. But he gets the deal done. He signs it for, again, like that large chunk of money, whether it's 208 or it's 209, still a pretty penny. And it'll be interesting to see what ends up happening. Things are starting to get underway. It's going to be here before we know it for the NBA season. Now, last one we got for you is the NFL kicked off the season on Sunday by revealing that Kendrick Lamar will headline the Super Bowl halftime show. The 37-year-old rapper is one of the most iconic names in hip-hop and released one of the biggest hits of the year with Not Like Us. In a statement, Lamar said, "Rap music is still the most impactful genre to date, and I'll be there to remind the world why. They got the right one." The Super Bowl will be held on February 9th in the Superdome in New Orleans, which is going to be really cool too. So again, Super Bowl, Kendrick Lamar, who will be playing in it? That will be the question. Will the Chiefs go for a three-peat? Who knows? There's still a lot more football to play. But yes, Kendrick Lamar will be your Super Bowl halftime show. Now, speaking of other football, of course, we got to talk about Monday night. Here's a crazy stat for you. Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers has now won his past 10 Monday night football games. His last Monday night football loss was in 2012, which is the Hail Mary game at Seattle, as a lot of people will do. Also, on this note, 2 weeks till out preseason starts. So things are starting to boil, and it's going to be an exciting time. All right. Let's get to some of the comments. It's not the end of the world. You had to expect some rookie growing pains. You have to expect them when it comes to Bo Nix. And let's be so real, he did not get a lot of help. If you watched my copy break episode, I believe it was on Thursday, I did a solo session. I went over some of my keys to the game. And I said that the people around Bo Nix had to step up and be better. You can't put all the pressure on the rookie QB. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. The offensive line did not look good at all. The wide receivers, how many dropped balls did we see? The running back clearly couldn't get going. Was Javonte Williams in the doghouse? Was he hurt? What was going on there? We're going to talk about that today on Coffee Break with James Merrilat. So yeah, it does take a lot. And you put a lot of pressure on a quarterback. And look at what he was still able to do. He went out there, he ran the ball in, which by the way, nice trick play by him. Definitely joked out the defensive player and then was able to run it into the end zone. But yes, expect some rookie pains. It's going to happen. Bo did not look crisp, but the receivers have to step up. 100%. You got to be able to step up, right? This is a Cortland Sutton. You got to be able to move back to the ball. This is a Josh Reynolds. Come on. He was super disappointed. And of course he was disappointed. Help Bo Nix out a little bit more. But yeah, he didn't look crisp. Can you imagine the emotions, the anxiety? Everything is weighing on you. It's loud in Seattle. I can't imagine what it was like from his perspective. But it wasn't all on Bo. I just see it. Everybody's talking about it. Relax, Broncos country. Seattle has a good defense. Sean Payton and his receivers didn't help him. It's a marathon, not a sprint. I'm glad you mentioned Sean Payton in there because I don't think that Sean Payton called a very good game for Bo Nix, in my personal opinion. It seems like he really limited everything that he did. And we know that Sean did not like the fact that Russell Wilson went off script more often than not. And it really felt like Bo Nix, despite even just being a rookie quarterback, okay, I feel like we didn't see him lock onto any receivers or anybody like he did yesterday, which makes me wonder if Sean Payton was very open and honest about like, go with the game plan, go with the script. And unfortunately, it just bit him in the butt a little bit. We will dive into it, I promise, because I know the guy that's going to be on Coffee Break today will have a lot to say about Sean Payton's coaching style. Happy Monday, Rachel. Happy Monday. Does it not feel like Monday to anybody else? I don't know. I feel like it should be Sunday all over again and we should be watching football. It's the weirdest Monday ever. I woke up this morning not exactly sure what day it was. Bo Nix numbers were better than Elway's first game. Let's give him a break. Lots of people remember John Elway's and being like, oh no, this quarterback. Of course, look what ends up happening with that. So yes, give him a break, everybody. Let's not get to bashing him too much. Let's not have Pat Surtain have to come at Broncos country anymore. I'm curious though. Did you think that it's weird he deleted that post? Because I did. I am nervous about this one. Pittsburgh's defense is better. Yeah, Pittsburgh's defense looks a little insane. TJ Watt looks like an absolute beast out there, so it will definitely be a tough battle. I had the Broncos winning their first battle on Sunday, this upcoming Sunday, against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I didn't have them winning against Seattle. Don't hate me, Broncos country, but I do not know if they're going to be able to get a victory on Sunday. First of all, if Justin Fields is now your quarterback, I think he's better than Russell Wilson. And two, their defense showed that they are here to ball out. So I'm a little nervous about starting the season. And let's be real, we all said they had to start the season very hot if they wanted to try and make a wild card spot. And so starting possibly 0-2 definitely doesn't help it. And then you go down to Baker, and that's a tough game. And then you go to the Jets with Aaron Rodgers, and just begins to be a very, very tough start to the season. So you guys are screwed. You guys bought into Sean Payton's ego. He's outdated. Wow. Okay. Interesting comment right there. He seemed nervous, but also the play calling was too predictable. Short passes or screen passes happen every series. I'm totally with you. I just don't think that they went, I think they played it too safe with Bo Nix, and I wish they would have, spread it out just a little bit more. The defense looked great early, then got soft. Do you think that the conditioning was soft as preseason and they got tired? I do think that they got a little tired, but also if you look at the time, Seattle in the second half, they were on the field for a lot of the game. So I do think that they got tired. There's no way, even with conditioning and everything that you do, you can't be prepared to play that many minutes. And unfortunately, you were on such a high in the first half between the safeties and everything else that was going on. So I can't really fault the defense. I think that they played as well as they probably could have. Of course, if this had been week 15, they probably could have stopped Seattle a little bit more, but it is only week 1. No matter how much conditioning you do in the offseason, nothing prepares you for week 1 of the NFL season. Surtain is spot on. The issue isn't Bo Nix. It's on coaches and lack of adjustments. Totally feel you on that. I think it's unfair to put it all on Bo Nix. And I think a lot of Broncos country agrees with it, right? We're seeing the comments that are coming in. It just feels like a bit of a waste. So I'm kind of with Pat Surtain. Don't call out the QB. Let's call out some other players as well, or your coach. The lack of running game is on Peyton and dropped passes on the receiver. I'm just so curious about what the heck happened with Javonte Williams. It was all of a sudden, Obviously, he was slipping, which really sucks, and it was really unfortunate. I actually needed Javonte to run in a touchdown, which really hurt, but especially because he got so close to doing it. But again, I don't know. It's just I really want to know what's going on with Javonte. Like, is Jaleel all of a sudden going to be running back number 1? Did they just like lose all faith in Javonte? Did he get hurt? I don't know. It's just one of those things I was like, oh. Okay, so this is funny because it's like back-to-back comments, but wasting such an amazing wide receiver group. Not an amazing wide receiver group. Let's see what else. Seattle fan here. First of all, thanks for hanging with us this morning. Bo came into probably the toughest environment for a rookie QB. Mike McDonald's scheme is tough against even the most experienced quarterbacks. He played a lot better than I thought he would. Well, first of all, appreciate that. I do agree that the environment was really tough for Bo. I truthfully believe that it was probably one of the hardest places that he could have started his career. And Mike McDonald, it feels like Seattle has really backed him a lot. And you saw what he did with the Ravens defense. He brought over a lot of that, and they looked good. I think that Seattle definitely can make a push for the playoffs, even with Geno Smith as a QB. So first of all, thanks for hanging with us, though, on this Monday. Okay, there are tons of comments coming in, you guys. Let's just get to a few more. Our yards after catch was horrible. Yes, indeed. First 4 games are all against good D's. TB and the Heat is brutal. That's why I really thought that they would be able to pull out their first win against Pittsburgh, but I just don't know. Pittsburgh's defense looked solid. And again, I think they are buying into Justin Fields a little bit. I do not think we will see Russell Wilson with that team unless Justin Fields goes down. I don't think you can sit him after the performance that he had. And there's, of course, all of the tinfoil hat theories going on right now saying, oh, well, Russell Wilson didn't want to play in Denver, so that's why he has this calf injury. And so it's just setting him up so he doesn't have to play here in Denver. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but definitely something to keep an eye on. We'll see if they decide to make a switch at quarterback. But that's going to do it. Long show today. Thank you guys all for hanging with us. Plenty of good stuff. James Marilat and I, coffee break, 12 o'clock. Come hang out with us, talking everything we need to know. Also, who won? Pastor Tan or DK Metcalf? We got to dive into all of this kind of stuff. Come hang out with us, and we'll see you guys tomorrow morning for another episode of your Denver Sports Daily. Bye.